Now see the second way of passing the parameters. Generally, we can pass the parameters into the function in two ways. Either by references, just now we have seen, and by values. These are the two approaches. Either you can pass the parameters by reference or by values. What is the difference between these two? What is the difference between passing the parameters by values and by references? Now see, when you are passing the parameters by references means your subroutine can change the values of the arguments. This is the first point you have to understand. Your subroutine can change the values of the arguments. The changes also take effect after the subroutine ends. So these changes can also affect the after the subroutine ends. We will understand the same with the help of an example. First you try to understand this line. So there are two ways. Either you can pass the parameters into the subroutine either by reference or by values. If you are passing the parameters by using the references means you can change the values of you can change the arguments. Even that change will be reflected after completion of the subroutine also. Now coming to the by value. If you are passing the parameters by value means the subroutine only works on the copies of the arguments. You please remember this point. It only works on the copies of the arguments, and because of this it is creating its own copies again. The values of the arguments will not change. This is the important point. The values of the arguments will not change. We will see what is happening here. In the next slide we will try to understand. So first we will speak how to pass the parameters by using references. As already you have seen, when you are passing the values into the when you are passing the parameters through references, then with the help of default array iterate underscore with this we are passing. Already we have seen one example. And one more important thing is corresponding changes. This is going to change the values of the corresponding arguments also changes. So that is nothing but it is known as the passing the parameters by reference. Now let us see the example. Here you can understand easily. First is this is the installation of compiler address, and coming to this there is no problem. Now first you see my A. You are creating the A and B variables. Here you are creating A and B variables are creating, and you are also initializing. A is initialized with 10, B is initialized with 20. Those are the initial values of A and B. You have been initialized those created variables with A and B. Now here we are writing the function. Here first do something. This is nothing but after observing this statement, this is nothing but a function call. So this is nothing but a function call. From the statement you can function call. How you can understand? Do something is the name of function and parameters are A and B. You are passing the parameters A and B. Now see, after this you are having print after calling the subroutine A is equal to A, B is equal to B. So up to this your main program. Your main program consisting of creating the variables and initializing and a function call. After that you are printing A and B. Now we will see the function definition. This is nothing but your function definition. This is nothing but your function definition. Now if you come to the function definition, as the function definition starts with the keyword sub, so it is starting with the keyword sub. This is the name of the function, do something is the name of the function, open braces. Now this is the way, as already I mentioned at the beginning, how to access the array element. Array you are creating with iterate underscore, and how you are denoting the elements is $_. This is the way how you are accessing the element. So already you have passed the elements. Now see $_0 is equal to 1. $_1 is equal to 2. You have passed two arguments. So 0 reflects the first argument, index 1 reflects the second argument. So $_0 is equal to 1, $_1 is equal to 2. So now what you did here, inside the function you changed the arguments. Inside the function you changed the argument, and arguments you passed with the help of reference. These are the two aspects you have to remember. In this case, you are passing the arguments with the help of the reference, and inside the function you have been changed the arguments. Now after execution of this program, what you are able to understand is, though your initial values are 10 and 20, after execution of this, if you print A and B is nothing but A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 2. That means here you are passing the arguments through reference, means if you are changing the variables, automatically they will change the arguments also. You know that A, B are the arguments. Changing the parameters will change the arguments. Now that is the note what I put here. We displayed the values of A and B after calling the subroutine. The values of A and B has been changed as expected. That's what is our expectation also. As for the reference, if you change the variables, iterate variables, automatically they are going to reflect the arguments. That we studied in the earlier slides. We observed the same also here. Now we will see how to pass the parameters with the help of values. If you don't want the subroutine to change the arguments, here subroutine has been changed its arguments. If you don't want to change the subroutine arguments, then you have to create another set of variables, lexical variables, to store the parameters. So inside the function, you have to create another set of variables. Inside the subroutine, you can manipulate these lexical variables that do not affect the original arguments. This is called the passing the parameters by values. So now we will see and we will understand. Changed the private variables, that we will see. After seeing, you can understand what is P1 and P2. Now see, in this program, this is the example for passing the arguments by values. First part is same. This is the definition part, and using the warnings and strict, these are the common. First you have created two variables and initialized. So variables creation and initialization. After that you are calling the function. Up to this there is no change. Even at this point also same, there is no difference. This is the starting point of the definition. Here also you don't find any change. Now coming to here, earlier in this part what you have seen, $_0 is equal to 1. $_1 is equal to 2. This is what you observed. But in here you observe what is there. Here you are having the one more function called my. In that your parameters are there. Here you are having one more call. That parameters are P1 and P2, two variables. That means you are creating another set of variables inside the function. This is not there in reference case. Here this is a value case. That's why you are creating your own set of variables P1 and P2 that are initialized to a array A_. Now you are initializing P1 with 1, P2 is equal to 2. If you execute this program, you can find that variable P1 is equal to 1, variable P2 is equal to 2, but A variable is equal to 10, B variable is equal to 20. So arguments will not change. Though inside the variables you have been changed the variable also, arguments will not change. When you are passing the, if you observe the code also, Here you are creating another set of lexical variables. Those are initialized when you are printing them or when you are executing this program. These variables will not arguments, whatever passing arguments are there, they are not changing. Whereas in the earlier case, if you go back and see, in the earlier case, same code. Up to this there is no change. Here we are not having the separate set of variable. We are accessing the same, but with the help of the iterate array. So we are passing the reference. That's why from the reference we are accessing. Once you are changing the reference parameters, means automatically arguments will change. That is not happening when you are passing the parameters through values. There you are creating your own set of variables. You are separately initializing them. When you are changing the variables here, those are, when you are changing the array variables, those are not going to affect the arguments. Since these are passing the parameters with values, not with the reference. So they are not accessing the memory location. These are the separate namespaces. They are using separate namespaces. They are saving in some other point. They are not referring the own original your arguments location. Is it clear? That is the major difference. Now I think you clearly understood how to pass the parameters by reference and how to pass the parameters by values. Now we will see one example. Now see here. Here I want to find the area of the square. As you know that area of the square is s square. Area of the square is nothing but s square. Na? So now I want to find out the area of the square. For that I need only one dimension. Only one dimension. I have to pass only one argument. Now you see here how to pass the single argument. First you define the area, you define the function. Sub is the keyword. Area I have to compute, so I have given the same name. So inner parameter is nothing but side. As you know that square s square. So s is nothing but s side. So variable is equal to side, and it is a scalar variable. That's why I am representing with the dollar. That is nothing but, here you are passing the parameter. By seeing this, easily you can understand that it is nothing but through reference. We are passing the parameter through reference. So here you need two variables, but both are one and the same. That's why you can call it as only one variable. Both are possessing same value. So $_0. Now what is to be written? Area has to be written. What is the formula of area? You have to written side into side. So total area is equal to, now total area is equal to area. Now this is a function call. So now you are assigning total area to function call area. So function call is equal to area, and default you are passing the parameter ampersand of side is equal to 4. So if you print the area, in this case you are going to get 16. Now see the second example. Here how to pass the multiple parameters. Earlier we have seen how to pass the single value. In this case, by using reference, how to pass the multiple parameters. In this case, my interest is finding the average. So this statement is common, as you know earlier. Now I have given the same name. Average is the function name. So this is the function name. Sub is the keyword. With the help of sub, you are starting average, open. Now coming to the n is nothing but number of variables. And it is a scalar, that's why I am representing with the dollar. N is equal to scalar of iterate. We are passing through reference. So all the variables will be stored in the default array iterate underscore. So this function writes the number of elements present in the iterate. So first initialize the sum. So sum is equal to, already you are getting the number of variables into n. So now sum is equal to 0, initialize. Here you are having many variables. For that we have to use the for each function. So for each iterate of item, all the elements present in the array iterate underscore. Now sum is equal to sum plus item. It is iterating over all the elements which are present in the A underscore. Now average is equal to, as you know that sum by number of elements. Now print the average. So this is how you can call the function call. So function call is equal to average of all these elements. Now all these elements will be stored in iterate, right? So this is the way how you can do the. Now coming to the, so earlier we have seen how to pass the single variable. There we computed the area of the square. In this case we have seen how to pass the parameters, multiple parameters into the functions, and same thing we handled with the for each function by using for each function. We have done the averaging. Now see the same we are doing here also. It was repeated, but I have presented the answer also. So here your elements are 10, 20, 30 and 40. You are calling the function call 10, 20, 30 and 40. You know that 40 plus 30, 70 plus 20, 90 plus 10. No. This is 100. Sum is equal to 100. Your sum variable carries the sum is nothing but 100. So sum is equal to 100 and number of elements as n carries, n is equal to how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So now average is nothing but average is equal to sum by total number, that is slash n, which is equal to 100 by 4, which is equal to 25. That's what is your answer here. Okay, so this is the way how Parallel works. So far we discussed two kinds of data, how to handle the scalar data. So far in Parallel you are having three kinds of data types. One is the scalar, another one is the array, another one is the hash. These are the basic data types. So far we have seen how to handle with the scalar arguments, scalar references and array references. Now we are considering the hash reference. See this example, as already I mentioned at the beginning, even you can, iterate is handling with the hashes also. As you know that hash is nothing but it is a binding. You know that it's a associative memory kind of thing. So it has the keys and values. Already you know that it is having the keys and values. They are related. We have seen so many examples and we have seen how to operate the hash dash also. So see in this program, sub is the keyword. Since we are how to pass the hashes, how to handle the hashes with the help of the iterate, default array. So sub print hash. Now as you know that this symbol is for hash data. So percentage hash is equal to iterate. Now iterate underscore earlier takes the parameters array. Now it will take the parameters as the hashes. For each key, as you know that for each keys and keys whatever is there, percentage of hash, values we have to write. So key value pairs are there now. Already we know the key value pairs are there. So we are writing the value. Hash of the key we have to write down. Now print all the keys and hashes. That's the way how we are writing. Now hash is equal to, this is the data we are calling. This is the calling of the function. Here hash definition is percentage of hash is equal to name, Tom, age 19. So here how it creates Tom versus 19. That is the thing how you can have the, how you can, in this case if you execute the program, you are going to have the Tom 19. If you print hash, that is the data you are going to get. In the same way here you observe the same, instead of a same kind, here we are having the multiple data types. This is the scalar data type, this is the scalar, this is nothing but the array. Now see how you can pass the multiple parameters. This is the same statement, sub and print list is the statement. Now iterate list is equal to, you are passing the parameters. This is the print statement. So this is the function definition. Up to this part, function definition. Now coming to the data, this is nothing but a calling. Print list of, this is nothing but a how you pass the parameter and calling the function. Now what is A? A is a scalar variable which is initialized with 10. B is nothing but a array which is initialized with 1 to 4. Now your calling function is nothing but print list. It is passing the parameters A and B. You differentiate both. This is a scalar, that's why it carried with the dollar. It is array, it is carried with the symbol, array symbol. After printing this, what should you get? You should get 10 followed by 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is what you are getting, 10 followed by 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the way how it works. Now see, in this case, here we are following the, here also we are finding the average only, but we are passing with the help of iterate function. Same thing, this also we did earlier. So first you initialize the n, same function, same thing here. In addition to that, you are having the one more print statement. Earlier, just we call the function and left the things, but we are printing, that's all. So if you print the average, you can get the 20. So now coming to this point, even even you can pass the line also. Even you can pass the line of parameters also into the parameters. You see, this is your variable, your array consisting of the, as from the representation, this symbol indicates the array, and variable is the lines. So you have created the variable, array variable. It consisting of array values, string data, yahoo.com 100, this is the one variable, and gmail.com 101, this is the second variable. Third variable is microsoft.com 103 and flipkart.104. So here you have created a array variable which consisting of 4 parameters. Now coming to the function, this is the function. Sub is the keyword. Display.com, displaycom is the function name. For each, all the items, this is the for loop, for each iterate line. So for each function should iterate over all the elements of the line. After that, if ampersand underscore is not equal to com, then print what is there, you have to print. So now if you call the function display com, function name is the display com, this is the function definition, there simply we are printing. And see now what is to be printed, display.com consisting of all the parameters, simply we are printing all the parameters. It is having how many? 4. So Yahoo, Gmail, Microsoft and Flipkart. So this is the way how you can execute. So now coming to here, how you can operate the array variables by passing through the reference. Same thing, create a variable, array variable. A is the array variable which passes the parameters 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 2, 6, 8, 9. This is the data, array data you are passing. M is the another variable. M is referred with the, this symbol is for reference, as you know that, maximum. So M variable is referred with the reference. So this is referred with the reference, whereas this is a array initialized. Now what is to be done? Here you are writing a print statement. The maximum of iterate A is, this is the variable M. So now coming to the function, now your objective is you have to determine the maximum elements of your array. So first come and define the function for that. Sub is the keyword. Max is nothing but a function name. First my arf, this is the variable you are writing. First you are passing the first variable. This is the, already you know that when you are declaring this like this in functions, it will default goes to the array, default array A underscore this, and you can access each element with the like this. with dollar symbol. As a scalar you have to access. And indexing is nothing but here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 elements are there. So first you are checking the first element and this is the second element. So you are passing that to k. Now here you are comparing. First passing each element and comparing and returning what is the maximum value is there, that you are writing here with the help of the max function. So out of this 1, 2, 3, 6, 8, 4, 9. So 9 is the maximum that you are going to print here. So this is what is the how to access the elements and how to find out the certain function on the elements by using the reference. This is nothing but here, as we know that array is nothing but a structured element. Their indexing you can do with the help of integers. So you can consider it as a stack and you can do the pop and push operations to handle the array elements. Here we are doing the same thing with the help of the pop and push. We want to access. So within the function, when we are passing the array elements through push and pops, how to handle the data. That is the objective of this program. Since arrays are nothing but they are the default integer indexing. That is the reason you can consider them, you can handle them with the help of the stack. So that is the way how we want to do here. So first write down the first part. This is common to anything where it is there, where your file is there, where your Perl is loaded and warnings and strict. First create the variable. As you know that this variable is nothing but the A and local. Here it is a array kind of variable which comprises 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 6, 7. B is the another variable initialized with 8, 4, 9. My iterate C. So iterate C is nothing but pops. This is nothing but, as you know that you have been created as a reference. Since variable is followed with the slash, that is nothing but it is a reference. It is the another references. You are passing references into the pop function. So as you know that pop writes the whatever the top of the stack, that will be written. So in this case at A, what is there at the top of the, as you know that in the stack this last point in A is nothing but 7. In the another stack location for B, upper is 9. So it has to, when you are popping means whatever is top, that is going to be written. So it has to write, it has to, from the A it has to written 7, from the B it has to written 9. So your answer when you are printing C, C is nothing but popping of both comma. This is nothing but comma, so it has to written 7, 9. So that is what is there here. Now sub pops, here return statement, we are using RAT is the variable with nothing is passed into that. Now here we are doing the push operation. First whatever is stored in this iterate return, that is push. When you are returning, you are able to return the 7 and 9. First whatever data is there, that we are pushing onto the stack and we are popping. So far we have seen the arrays. Hashes also we have considered one example. This is a one more example with the help of the hash. How to pass the hashes into the subroutine. So this is the subroutine declaration. Now we are passing hash into the subroutine. After that we are able to handle the subroutine with the help of keys and values. You please go through that same example we consider. Simply we have been changed the data. And coming to the last but one, this is nothing but how to know the global and local variables. How to handle the global and local variables in the functions. You know this is a string data type. String, here your string consisting of the characteristics A, E, I, O, U. And this is the definition of the function sub ABC. ABC is the function name. Here inside you are creating the str variable. That str variable is initialized with a some other string. Now print, if you print the, so this is the function, this is the function, inside the function you printed once. After that you call the function, again you have been printed. So out of this program, you have created two string variables. One is the outside the function, one is the inside the function. One print statement is inside the function, one print statement is outside. Yeah, if you declare the variable like this is a global variable. If you declare the function variable like this, means it is a local variable. If you write down the print function inside the function, means there you are going to print the local variable. If you print the outside the variable, where you can print the global. So now in the same way, so if here you should get the AAA, this should be appeared when you are printing here, this should be appeared when you are executing this print statement. So this is the global, this is the local. So this is the important point when you are creating the variables and operating the variables, you must be cautious. So now see multiple subroutines. How to handle the multiple subroutines? Suppose you want to compute the factorial of 5. How to compute the factorial of 5? Let us say how to compute the factorial of 5. You know that factorial of 5 is 1 into 2 into 3 into 4 into 5. This is the way how to compute the factorial of the 5. So simply what is to be done? It is nothing but you have to, suppose you will see, so far we have seen how to pass the data types into the functions by using references. Now we will see how to handle with the recursion operation in functions. As you know, suppose you want to find out the factor, suppose you want to find the factorial of 5. How to determine the factorial of 5? Suppose you want to find the factorial of 5, means factorial of 5 is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So what we are doing, simply we are multiplying with 1 into 2, 2 into 3, 3 into 4, 5, like that. So here we can do the same with the recursion. So simply if n is equal to 1 means, n is equal to 2 means n minus 1 is equal to 1, or otherwise n is equal to n plus 1. So like that simply you can perform the, you can initialize the variable with the integer. So here we are doing the multiple factorial. This is the function name. First we are passing the parameter as 0. So factorial of 0 is equal to 1. So that is the reason it is returning to 1. It will return 1. Now if you want to find out factorial of any value greater than n, means simply multifactorial same function int of that number. So now dollar of n is nothing but you have to initialize that value. Now how to determine the factorial is nothing but n into factorial of n minus 1. So this this function will recurses to so many number of times. How many number of times you have to operate this? It is nothing but a recursion call. So now see here, if factorial of 15 means it has to multiply with suppose n is equal to 15 means 15 into 15 minus 1, 14. Now again this call is recursive now. So whatever that is there, now that will be saved into n, that into again n minus 1. Now it becomes to 13. Like that it will do up to 1. So this is the way how you can do the recursive action also in the functions. So far we have seen how to define the function in parallel, without parameters, with parameters, and also we have seen how to pass the parameters by values, how to pass the parameters by reference. Again in referencing also how to pass the scalar variables, how to pass the arrays, how to pass the hashes. All those things we discussed, and at the end we also considered how to operate the recursion operation in the functions. So these are the various use cases we have seen with respect to functions. So you please go through the handout, learn all use cases and do the given assignment. Thank you one and all. Thank you. Any doubts? Do you have any doubts on this? So you please write any doubts if you are having, please write to me. I will answer the same in mail or in WhatsApp. Thank you so much.